Okay, we're hidden in the castle in Hay, in the centre of the town. Very deliberately hidden. You have to have skills to find our shop.
So you're a wee bit special?
Oh, definitely. Very different.
Okay, so what makes you different?
Because we can sell absolutely anything and everything we want, whether it's old, new, it's just junk.
And what's your nickname?
Lady Junk. And there is a Lord Junk. He's on the market. We have a market stall as well.
So, go on, show us just how wacky it gets in the shop. Show us some of your favourite little trinkets.
I don't know where to start. My posters are my favourite thing on the walls. My baby in the fur coat, he's pretty cool. And my shot glass collection is also something that I work very hard on.
Is it more than just making a living?
Oh, I don't make a living. It's a way of life. It's the fun, it's the hunt, it's the finding the stuff.
And then sharing it. Do you ever not want to sell something?
Oh, definitely. Anything that's got about £1,000 on it in here means I don't want to sell it.
Like?
Like this quilt. Might have rather a high price tag.
Now, what is it about Hay that makes Hay special for its shops?
It's an eclectic mix. You can find more or less anything you want if you look. But stuff is hidden in Hay. You have to actually get to the back of places and go in the smallest shops and hunt them out. But that's what makes it fun.
A couple of times when I've been shopping here and it turns into a bit of a party session, the music's on, the drinks are flowing. Is that going to be happening this festival?
Most definitely. You meet lots of really interesting people, and some I know from previous lives. So you never know who's going to walk through the door, and that's always quite exciting.
I came to Hay over 30 years ago as a young trainee, more or less, and in that period I've developed a great knowledge of the area and the locality and a nice judgment for the properties that we sell. When I came in his pomp, Richard Booth, the King of Hay, and the bookshops were really flying, and it's developed ever since. And it's special because of where it's situated, it's special because of the architecture and the buildings that it has, but also special because of the people who live here. Well, Hay itself, of course, has got a great architectural history, and the Norman Castle at its centre from years ago. Lucky last year, we actually sold 3 castles last year, including the great big castle in the centre, but most importantly of all, we found the right people to buy it who've got Hay at heart. One of the skills that I've had to develop is to value all this great variety of properties that we have in Hay, both commercial, residential and agricultural, I guess, on the outside. We don't have great big estates of identical houses, so every property is different by virtue of its location, its size, its style, its condition, and that makes valuing difficult but also quite good fun.
What do you get for your money in Hay?
Well, we go from the bottom to the top. There are little tiny terraced houses here which are 140,000 or less, some that need work done to them. The modern houses, 250 to 300. Some lovely country houses, for example, Quarry Cottage at 400. And then as we go round the wall, and I'll take you to this side, great townhouse here, Radnor House, in the 500s. Small holdings with 13 acres, 20 acres at about 700. And this one, Chapel House, for example, one of the nicest country houses in the area, just 795,000.
So it's good times in Hay?
Yeah, there's a good variety of properties here. Like everywhere, the market isn't fast, but you know, we've got a lot of special things, and people recognise that. You know, people know that Hay has a special cachet. Everybody seems to want to be in the town because you can walk to everything. And although there's some very pretty villages around it and some great countryside, Hay is definitely the magnet.
We're in the new Richard Booth's bookshop cinema.
And what's happening today?
It's the opening of my exhibition here in the reception area.
Where did your work come from? The heart, the head, the spirit?
It had to be quite meditative when I created, so a good calm, clear mind, you know, not tainted by worries or distraction and all the rest of it. So it comes from a meditative place, but also it relies very, very much on years and years and years of study and practice in the tradition. You know, I have a proper formal traditional training.
And where did you train?
As a Buddhist monk, I trained up in Scotland. There's a lovely monastery up there, the first established Buddhist monastery in the West, and there were Tibetan lamas there. I also went over several times and trained in northern India with other eminent teachers and lamas from all over, really.
Do you need to understand what the pictures mean?
I don't think so. A good calligrapher, I believe, the message will come through. The actual form of the letters, the mood, the feeling should come through. Should communicate. I don't think you necessarily need to understand actually what it says. My calligraphy that I'm creating is Tibetan, so there's not many people, especially in the Western world, that can read Tibetan. But I do put explanations, a translation there for them. But it's not just calligraphy; it's iconographic. It's through the shape and the form, something will come through.
How long have you been in Hay?
Coming up for 3 years now. The environment here, there's a really good art community here, generally. It's obviously a very beautiful place, and just a good standing of living, makes you happy. Good food, beautiful area. I can be more relaxed and more focused on my work as an artist.
So when you moved from the
London,
big smoke,
I moved from London, yeah.
Did you have trepidations about whether it would be successful? How have things been?
Yeah, I certainly did. It was a big risk, because London promises everything, and it says that not much else exists outside of London. And I thought, well, gosh, I'll be losing clients, But actually, to my surprise, opposite happened. Clients were more than happy to come all this way. Great, a couple of days out or whatever. And I think shifting that sort of energy of being in London and having more peace and quiet out here, I think it improved my work. And I guess people see that.
Tell us about your treasure trove.
Well, it's just an eclectic mix of all sorts of things. I like Hay-on-Wye and the letters. I think it's a very nice, friendly community. We all look after each other. And we all try and give the customers good service, old-fashioned service.
What is the old-fashioned service?
A little bit of courtesy. Yeah, old on time, yeah. General TLC. I like people to come in and feel at home. Not too pretentious.
And can you just show us some of the variety of things you have in the shop?
The old pig bench. That belonged to old Tom. It was in his garden shed when I cleared his house when he unfortunately died. And then these are granite stone and their weights to tether something or just as a decoration. I have a lot of things in here that have got a good use, but also very decorative. It's just funky and different.
Do you think people are going to find a bargain here, or is it like the Antiques Roadshow, or is it?
We'll always deal within, we all want to make a living, but there's always a deal to be had. Well, I've got quite a good network if I go round buying, but people know this eccentric lady that buys them. Lobster pot. It's got the little lead weights. It's very unusual. And the old Cadbury milk churn.
So do you love what you do?
I think you've got to love it to make it. I've got a passion for it.
And Hay seems to have a lot of antique shops. Do you think that's one of its niche markets?
Well, I think wherever there's a cluster is good.
And there's a good cluster
Yeah,
here.
I think more people will come, we hope. But I think you've got to be passionate about it to like it. Because it isn't, you're never going to get rich out of it, but it's a passion, a paying passion.
We're a cooperative of 9 makers, and we all share the running of the gallery. It's been going 25 years now, and we have a nice variety of different crafts in all sorts of different media. For example, here we have work by Catriona Cartwright, who's our letter carver and sculptor. We also have work by one of our founder members, Victoria, who has these wonderful collagraphs. I have some of my own work is turned wood. We have pottery by Pauline Patterson, again one of the founder members. We have ties, silk ties by Sue Forrest, all individually designed. More pottery here by Pat Burks, and here we have a work by Dawn Cripps, which is embroidery, fine embroidery. A very original wire work by Gail Stokes Hayward, and work by Jenny Chippendale, who works with felt. So as you can see, we've really got a huge range of different things, as well as work by guest exhibitors. Some people might feel with galleries can be a bit sort of precious. We hope that we're very happy for people to come in and browse. They shouldn't feel obliged to buy things, you know. A lot of people might be surprised at how reasonable the prices are, really, because all this work is handmade. It's not mass produced. So in the £5 to £20 bracket, we have nice things. Of course, we also can do commissions. We do a very good line in cards, greetings cards, are cut above the average and everything, and so we're a good place to come for presents. We perform an important showcase for the craftsmen who live around the area.